Hello and welcome to Witness. I'm Rageh Omaar. The 5-year war in the Democratic Republic of Congo ended officially in 2003, but it still continues to be a place of violent conflict and humanitarian disaster. The war was one of the deadliest, with some 5.4 million people dying from related violence, hunger and disease. But there's another chilling statistic that has come to be associated with the conflict in the DRC: rape. Estimates vary that between 40 and 80,000 women of all ages were raped during the war by members of virtually all the armed forces operating there. And the evidence is that sexual violence against women continues to blight this brutalized society even after the war. Fighting the Silence is a powerful, shocking, but also empowering film that tells the stories of Congolese rape survivors who are trying to change their world. In a moment, I will be talking to filmmakers Ilse and Femke van Velzen about their film and the issues behind it. But first, take a look at a clip from Fighting the Silence.
Sasa ni saa 10:06 kwenye studio za Radio Baraka. Mada ambao tutakaozungumzia jioni ya leo ni kuhusu wanawake wanaobakwa. Mnatumia mbinu gani sana kwa kuwapata watu wanaobakwa?
Kwa hiyo tunaandaa mafunzo ya watu wote, tunaandaa hata masemina, tunaandaa hata mateatri ili watu wapate kuona na wajionee wenyewe, wajisikilie wenyewe, hata wanakuja kwa siri wakituendea kwenye chumba chetu cha kuwasikiliza wanawake. Kusema kwamba mwanamke wa Afrika, mwanamke wa Kongo, mwanamke wa Fizi, kwa kweli asili yetu na mila yetu sio rahisi. Sio rahisi mwanamke aseme mimi nimebakwa.
Mitombo ya. Muko chatale no mubatanga. Ndakwa chama chinu efuchira bini nakutachinga.
Gaveru futesi pataya sana no msipata tairu.
Nakutachinga. Chinga chiwe bini chiti cha elu.
Huko chakamu yoko chaifu makala imatango.
Oh, chini cha nyama. Mie nilikuwa milade. Wakati nipata kile matatizo, ndio ilikuwa ile matarehe wakati ya vita. Tulikuwa huko kwetu mzoni ya Fizi, ndio kwani tulikuwa hapa hivi huko Baraka. Tukavuka mpaka kule Ubware. Kwenda fika kule Ubware, magumu sasa ya vita ikakuya. Kosa ya kula na kukosa maisha ya kuikala. Tulikuwa na sehemu ya ufranga, wanangu aseme ile wakati wanaume watembeaje, wanakuwa tu banamuke. Tukaanza tembea na wenzangu wanamuke, tulikuwa kama wanamuke 6. Tukatoka Ubware ya huko tukaenda Ubware ya kule ngambo. Sasa wakati ya kwenda tulikuwa tunaanda amo kumagumu sana. Hindi siku tulisituka tulikuwa tu na mapitunga mgongo. Kwa ukuta mpembeni mnatoka mwingine mnatoka mwingine mnatoka mwingine mnatoka. Na wenyewe wakamata hivi na wakamata hivi, manake ilikuwa hatari sasa. Ilikuwa hatari kwa ile siku. Niliona sema leo maisha yangu inafika hapa hivi. Hao kamata sema kamata kisu alikuwa anagomba tu kamata hivi na kamata hivi. Sasa ile mimi kusema siwezi fanywa vile, pakaanza chana ile manguo, kwanza machana manguo. Sasa ile suvi kukua tena suvi ilikuwa tu kipande sasa ya kikwembe. Ndio nikaifunga hivi sababu ya ile haya. Nilijisikia haya sababu haikuwa kitu yenyewe na kuaka kwetu ya mtu mkubwa mzazi kuikala mwili hali ya buchi ama kwenda kuelezea bwana yake ya mtu nifanywa hivi ama nikamata wengine mwanaume hivi. Binakuwa haya na binakuwa tusi mu maisha yetu. Habikuwaki.
Well, I'm joined in the studio now by Ilse and Femke. Thanks for coming in to talk to us. Can I ask you, first of all, why did you decide to do this film?
Basically, we were working in Africa for quite a while, so we have made more films in Africa. And when we heard about the topic about the ongoing rapes in Congo, and there was hardly anything covered in the news, we started in 2005. We just wanted to give these women an opportunity also to tell their story, to let the world know what's happening there.
Because when you look at the statistics, they are incredibly shocking. But
Yeah.
to find the women, was that difficult? And how did you get them to talk about this subject?
It was a long process of research. I think we worked 1.5 years on the topic before we went to Congo and to find women and organizations. And the witnesses we have in the film, we actually found through the women activists in our film. And she already had such a trustable bond with these victims, and she trusted us, and that was important. She knew why we wanted to make the story, and it was very sincere. So in this way we met the victims, and we first built up like a trust, a trustable bond, and they knew exactly why we were doing this, and they also wanted to tell their story. That was their biggest motivation. I must say there are so many women raped in Congo that there are a lot of women who are also talking about it. It's still a huge taboo, but the numbers are so big that there are groups of women that are coming together and slowly on breaking the silence and talking about what they went through.
Kuna umoja kati yenu anaweza kuniambia nini ambayo naona kwa hii picha? Ndiyo mama.
Kwa hiyo picha tunaona mwanamke anamwangusha mwanaume na iko na kisu. Mwanaume anaangusha mwanamke na iko na kisu kwenye mkono. Anapenda sasa amfanye ubakaji.
Tunaona mwanaume iko na kisu kumkono na anataka abake huyu mkina mama.
Tunaona watu wanashota tu vidole kwa ule mwanamke na ule mwanaume, lakini hawana lolote la kufanya.
Ndiyo. Na hiyo inamaanisha nini kushota vidole? Inaonesha hali gani? Ndiyo mama.
Hali ya kushangaa.
Sawa. Hii inaonesha sura ambayo tuko nayo ya kusema wamama wengi tunanyanyasika, tunapigwa na waume zetu, tunabakwa, lakini wamama wengi wanaendelea kunyamaza na kujifunga na ile matatizo ndani ya moyo. Kusema tu ndio kwenye kutamaliza hii mama. Kwa sababu kama ukusema itajulikana kama ulipata matatizo. Lakini tukijifunga tu muro kila saa itakuwa ni shida.
One of the things that comes through in the film by exploring this issue of rape is the role of women, or how women are seen in society in Eastern Congo.
Yeah.
How did you deal with that, and where do you think how women are seen in society?
Women are seen as, I think, third-class citizens. For example, the activist in our film, she's not saying it in the film, but she explained us when she was young, she already understood the difference. Like, okay, why are my brothers allowed to go to school and why I'm not allowed to go to school? Those little things. I think Chantal, the activist, she from a young age sort of stood up.
Understood that there were certain things in women, about women that they couldn't.
Against that. So that's probably why she is an activist now.
Yeah.
She's doing really amazing work.
A lot of people, you know, who want to watch this film will probably think, God, you know, it's a subject that I feel very strongly about, but can I watch this for an hour? The thing that surprised me watching it is actually, it is horrifying and it is shocking, but it's also, in a strange way, empowering.
Yeah. Yeah, we find it very important to give a fair chance. Like, they're not victims because they're fighting very hard for it. And the people everywhere in Congo, they've been through so much. It's unbelievable how much strength and pride they have, and that they still continue after everything that's happened. So we didn't want to portray them as victims, because
but as survivors.
Yeah, as survivors and fighters as well.
There is one simple question. When anyone reads about this subject and you consider that, you know, between 40 and 80,000 women, I mean, according to official statistics, 70,000, yeah, well, who knows? But I mean, of that scale, have been raped from ages as young as 3, sometimes even younger. All the way through. Why? Why do you think rape, which is described as a weapon or as a byproduct of war, why are all parties to of this war doing it? Is there an answer to that?
In a way, in Congo, you know that if you rape a woman, that she will be abandoned, because that's the whole...
You break up everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you destroy it.
But exactly why?
And it's difficult. I can understand why maybe foreign rebel groups are using it because it's not their people, it's not their country. But it's difficult to understand why the Congolese rebel groups are also doing it, and there are different rebel groups active.
Mimi tulikuwa naenda kushamba, tukaibebesha sie wote, tukaanza kuenda kunyumba. Ile njia ndio tulienda, tulishakuwa kule mbele, akakuya mbio. Ase mwe ndio mlikuwa nakata nani yangu mangazi yangu. Aseme hapana, tulikuwa na shenya nani makuni. Tukaenda mbio na ye mbio. Kufika kimoya Kitundu hivi tunaanza kukimbia. Akanibana, kanifanya vitu vya mbaya. Akaniambia hivi, kuua na kulala chini uchague. Kamwambia hivi, aseme unifanye tu. Akaanza aseme mwenye mlikuwa nakuja kukatakata mangazi yangu. Kamwambia aseme hapana. Aseme ni wewe tu mko nakuja kukatakata mangazi yangu. Ase leo hivi utakufa. Kamwambia mimi nifanya nini? Na kunibana hapa shingo. Nilikuwa kana chukua nani hiyo mguu akakia kunifinya hapa. Ndio alinitomba.
Was it difficult to get all the women in your film to talk so graphically? Because, you know, it doesn't spare any details at all. Was it difficult to get them to?
No, like how we really got a bonding with them and a trust, and then we kept the interviews very small and very intimate because they were still afraid to tell this in the open.
Sure.
So we just did it in their small houses and made sure that there were no other people listening in. No, it was surprisingly but Congolese are storytellers, so they have this in them that they can just tell a story. But for us it was surprising that they could tell it in so much detail.
I mean, there are no social workers where you can come every week an hour and tell your story. So it's difficult to tell your story in the community because of the taboo. So I think it's
so to have someone, whether it's two filmmakers like yourself, to act as a sort of a means of letting that out.
It was much more easier for them to tell the story to us than if there was if it was made by Congolese, for example. We also had a male cameraman, and a lot of people asked us, well, is that smart, you know? But in the end, they all loved our cameraman. He was great, and because he was not Congolese, they could actually tell openly their story.
Join me after the break when I'll be talking more with Femke and Ilse about their film Fighting the Silence.